Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to Amy watching in Oneonta, curled up with her cats and coffee.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today's show, I've been trying to find a way to describe it, and I think the best way is to compare it to the weather. You never know around here in the Mohawk Valley at this time of the year what you're going to get. And quite frankly, I don't know what you're going to get on today's show. We are going to feature some old and some new, so stay tuned.
This week we traveled to the village of Clinton in the town of Kirkland. Clinton was first settled in 1787 by Revolutionary War veterans, including Clinton's founder Moses Foote and Major Barnabas Pond. In the heart of the village is the village green, the focal point of activity since horse and buggy days. Clinton was known as the Village of Schools because of the large number of private schools in the village during the 19th century. When you visit the village of Clinton, you'll notice, or just take for granted, the colorful awnings over the many shops. They start here, at Brownie's Tent and Awning, as they have since the 1930s. Three of the Brown brothers, Greg, Jeff, and Eric, carry on the work of their grandfather, who was known as Brownie.
My grandfather, Reginald Brown, started it in 1939. He started out, he originally did carpet cleaning, and he also had a few tents that he used to rent out. We grew fairly rapidly back in those days. We used to buy our tents, and then we had a major fire here in 1970, and a couple of my grandfather's old original tents got burned up in the fire. So the first tent that I actually built, we were set up in temporary quarters, and so I rebuilt one to match one of his old original ones, and from there we just started making all of our tents. Of course, the awning part grew with it. My grandfather did a few awnings, but we've kind of branched off. My brother Jeff now does most of the tent rental as far as managing it, and myself and Eric do mostly the custom canvas work. It was a family business. I don't know, it was just when I got out of college, I just started doing it. You know, it was the first job I had out of college. Of course, I worked here. I can remember I was 10 years old and I painted this building. It used to be a two-story building, and that was my first job, and I think I was getting paid about 50 cents an hour. But no, I don't know. We all just kind of, you know, just gravitated to it, I guess. I don't know. It's always been there. Yeah, it's always been there, and there was enough diversification so that none of us were really stepping on each other's toes. You know, we all had our own little niche in the business, so it's always been, you know, worked out pretty good in that respect. Yeah.
We have seen their awnings as we have traveled around the Mohawk Valley. As a matter of fact, this one right here is from the Boonville Hotel, and we were there a couple of weeks ago.
For all the sons of immigrants, the sons of the native land.
Stay tuned for more from Clinton after the break.
The work we've just begun. Well, good times may come and good times go, but one thing stays.
Watch Mohawk Valley Living on Fox WFXV every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 11 o'clock p.m., followed by an encore. And now also available on WUTR every Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Drive the exciting new Dodge Dart for only $149 a month with a new 24-month lease. $29.99 cash or trade due at signing. Drive away in this exciting new technologically advanced compact sedan at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. No matter what your ride, Turnbull has you covered. Call Turnbull Insurance Service for your Harley or Honda, touring or sport, scooter or ATV insurance. Call 735-9201 and talk to a member of the Turnbull family ready to go the extra mile for you. Call Turnbull Insurance Service, 735-9201. Your dream of owning a log home can come true. Visit Lock & Logs in Sherburne and learn how easy it is to create and build your dream log home. Pick up a free catalog and see why Lock & Logs is one of the world's leading manufacturers of custom log homes. Visit Lock & Logs, 1 mile south of Sherburne on Route 12. The Hamilton College Theater Department presents The Marriage of Bet and Boo, a dark comedy of irony, humor, and farce, through April 27th at Minor Theater on the Hamilton College campus. Tickets are $5 and seating is limited. Call 859-4057 to reserve your tickets. You're invited to the Village Crossings open house this Saturday from 3 to 5 at the Evergreen Gallery in Hamilton. Enjoy refreshments and door prizes while you peruse new spring clothing, jewelry, and accessories this Saturday at Evergreen Gallery on Lebanon Street in Hamilton. Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market. Known for their choice hand-cut meats, fresh-baked bread, and famous original homemade pastas, salads, and stromboli in the deli. Check out this week's specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. Discover affordable original works of art by dozens of talented local artists at the Artisans Corner. Find handcrafted tinware, custom lampshades, pottery, jewelry, candles, soaps, and more. All local and all at the Artisans Corner in Clinton. Try delicious Moo Moo Muesli, simply the best cereal, with whole grains, cranberries, coconut raisins, dates, and almonds. Made in Sharon Springs and available at your health food store. Savor the flavor of authentic Southeast Asian cuisine at the Lotus Garden Noodle and Sushi House. The Pooh family welcomes you to lunch or dinner at the Lotus Garden, behind the Stanley Theater on King Street in Utica.
I'm gonna dig down in the dirt, plant good things to eat. I'm gonna heal it in with my own 2 feet.
We head north of Clinton to East South Street and Zarek Farms. Here, Bernie and Denise, with help from their 3 goats, raise hydroponic vegetables and greens for their CSA, the farmers markets, as well as tomatoes and peppers for their old goat salsas.
I'm gonna dig down in the dirt.
We started growing tomatoes on the farm in the greenhouse as an experiment just to see if we could do it. When we saw that production was really ramping up and we were getting a good supply, we decided to sell them at the farmers market. Problem was we were getting a lot of splits due to inconsistent watering and the heat in the greenhouse. We could sell them to restaurants, but they would be we wouldn't be paid what they were worth. So we looked into a value-added product from the farm and talked to folks at Nelson Farms and had a few family recipes that we decided we could market. And from there, the line was born. We harvest the tomatoes as they're ripening. Bernie takes them down when he picks them. They're flash frozen for us and chopped so that they're ready for a production anytime we're ready to make them. It's better to eat locally and to eat by the season. If you're eating seasonally, you're eating a variety of vegetables. If you eat locally, you know who's growing your vegetables. We like to put a face to who we buy from. We rarely go to the grocery store except for paper products and things like that. We usually buy from friends and we know how they grow. It's a connection to community that we feel very strongly about. And that's why we decided to start the CSA that we have. We like having people come here to the farm. We like meeting their families, interacting. Their kids play with the chickens up here. They get to see where their food's grown. And they're more than welcome to run the whole fields. There's nothing up here that they can get hurt on. So it's nice to see kids grow and develop and learn where their food comes from.
We never laughed so long. We Stephen Big Daddy Lee.
We head back into town to visit Tom's Natural Foods, a staple in the village since 1972. People shop here for health food, vitamins, and organic produce, and to stock up on Tom's popular malted seed crunchies.
When you come to Tom's Natural Foods, you'll find an array of local products, everything from popcorn to garlic to butter and to wheatgrass and the mugs and cheese. Thanks for helping me here. And this one with my fingers made, not yet. The goat's salsa not made from the goats.
No, the goat farm.
The goat farm, yeah, the goat farm that we visited. And then right here in my fingers is the cranberry munchies. They are made crunchies, not munchies, crunchies. They are made by Tom right here on premises. So how more local than that can you get?
It's a malted seed crunchy, and I kind of modeled it after peanut brittle, having a nut with a syrup baked into it. But this is a little healthier. It's a malt syrup, pure barley malt syrup, and pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, sometimes almonds, ginger, cranberries. It's a nice snack. It's almost a whole lunch if you eat it. It's been great. This week with Hamilton College parents back in town, they were all stocking up on them because the last time they were here they remembered them, and they were really selling a lot of them. I can't quite keep up.
Tom's Natural Foods is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 5. When you travel up Martin Street in Clinton, you can't miss the magnificent St. Mary's Church. It is built of gorgeous red sandstone, quarried in Medina, New York. This beautiful stone was even shipped to England to be used in Buckingham Palace. A look inside proves just as spectacular as the exterior.
It was built roughly, they started in 1909, that's what the cornerstone says. It was dedicated in 1913. The main kind of effort and gun behind it was the pastor, James O'Reilly. And he began it, kind of the effort towards the end of the 1800s when he was pastor here. There was a small church here on site, and the parish was quite big enough, he thought, to kind of sustain a larger church. So he put into an effort of building a large church. There was some resistance on the part of the parishioners that the original church, the little church, was good enough. And there's a quote that's said about him that good enough, would you say that just doing ordinary things is good enough for God? He wanted something that would really make a statement about faith in the community and about Catholic presence in the community, and a gift to God, and that's essentially why he built it.
For those of you who enjoy trivia, Father Krogan shared something with me this morning that I did not know. If you walk into a church, the altar almost always is not the right word, is it? Always faces east, the concept of the rising sun and the resurrection.
Come on, my heart, city in the sky, coming to the promised land. Yes, I'm going where the sun shines, coming to the promised land. It's been a long, long ride, but it's all right. Oh man, I'm sore and tired.
No matter what your ride, Turnbull has you covered. Call Turnbull Insurance Service for your Harley or Honda, touring or sport, scooter or ATV insurance. Call 735-9201 and talk to a member of the Turnbull family ready to go the extra mile for you. Call Turnbull Insurance Service, 735-9201.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley Living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
You keep saying you're going to do something about your back and joint pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone, one of the area's only K-laser therapy chiropractors, the most advanced non-invasive treatment of acute and chronic pain. Call 853-6225 and embark on your wellness journey today. Oscar's Picture Framing offers hand-finished molding and restoration of antique frames, restoring history for the past 42 years. Oscar's Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Escape the cold winter days in the tropics at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. Your winter doldrums will be swept away by free-flying tropical birds, butterflies, plants, and frogs. An unforgettable adventure for all ages. Open all winter long, Thursday through Sunday, noon to 4, on Route 7 in Oneonta. Meelan's Meat Market is your meat headquarters, featuring low-salt, low-fat smoked ham and store-made kielbasa. Every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. You'll find everything from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh at Meelan's Meat Market in Clark Mills. Shop Tom's Natural Foods and feel good with over 150 herbs and spices and a full line of dietary supplements. Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. We visit the Clinton Historical Society that has an open house this Friday from 2 to 8 during the Clinton Shoppers Stroll. Town historian Dick Williams shares with us Samuel Kirkland's fascinating story.
Well, of course, the early settling was started in March of 1787. Moses Foote and about 7 other families came here to Clinton. They came from Plymouth, Connecticut. Samuel Kirkland was at that time not here. He was with the Oneida Indians in Oneida Castle. Well, he was trying to Christianize them and take the gospel to the Indians. This is all the legends. I'm not sure where the documents are, but the legend is that Shenandoah was his parishioner and became a Christian and became very devoted to Samuel Kirkland. And his wish was to be buried next to him when he died. And Kirkland died in 1808. Shenandoah died a few years later. Over 100 years old. We don't know exactly what his age was, but supposedly it was over 100. So this was a plan of education that Kirkland developed, and in 1793 he got a charter for the Hamilton Oneida Academy, which was to be up at where Hamilton College is today. And in 1812, the trustees had it chartered as Hamilton College. Hamilton is the 3rd oldest liberal arts college in New York State after Columbia and Union.
We travel to the bottom of College Hill to the Harding Farm. Here, Samuel Kirkland built his mansion on the banks of the Oriskany Creek, with counsel from Oneida chief Shenandoah. Kirkland had close ties with the Oneida and served as their interpreter and diplomat. The Oneida frequently stopped here when passing through the valley and were welcomed to stay. Kirkland died in 1808 and was buried here in the orchard. Shenandoah died 8 years later and was buried beside him. Lyman Harding purchased the property in 1851, and his descendants still maintain the property today. They welcome guests of Hamilton College and visitors to the village of Clinton to their 3 guest houses. You can learn more about their accommodations and the history of the estate at hardingfarm.com.
Growing young, virgin tongue, all your songs yet unsung, on her knees with the bees. Let's go climb up that tree. Let's stay this way forever.
Hamilton College is celebrating its bicentennial this year. Samuel Kirkland first presented his proposal for the school to President George Washington in 1793, and it is believed that he was living in this small home at the time.
Behind me is Samuel Kirkland's original home. It was built in 1791, and he and his family lived in this house while his bigger home was being built. It was originally at the bottom of College Hill, was brought up here where it stands today. It was in a state of disrepair in the 1870s, but the community got together and fixed it up, brought it up the hill to where it is now as a reminder of the man who founded Hamilton College.
We walk over to the Hamilton College Cemetery, to where the bodies of Samuel Kirkland and Chief Shenandoah were moved in the 1850s.
Hidden away here in the Hamilton College Cemetery is historically a very interesting gravesite. It's the gravesite of Shenandoah. He was an Oneida chief who convinced his tribe to side with the Americans in the Revolutionary War, and he requested to be buried next to Samuel Kirkland, his very close friend.
Hamilton College's long connection with the Oneidas was reconfirmed in 1999 when the college worked with the Oneida Nation to restore Shenandoah's gravestone. The restoration was the work of local monument company Burdick Memorials. Located in Clinton for over a century, the tradition is carried on today by the new owners, the Enia family. Kevin Enia oversees this full-service company that has skilled artists who can etch anything you can imagine. The process has come a long way since the early days, recalls previous owner John Burdick.
Computers can, I guess they just type in the names and the lettering, and the computer spits out the rubber stencil with already cut, and you just take the stencil and stick it on the stone. You don't have to cut any. We had a punch machine that would punch the letters into the rubber, but now the computer does all that, and then the computer also can reproduce designs, and that's a fantastic savings and breakthrough.
While I was here today, I was able to pick out my own gravestone. It's the shamrock, and I'm going to have the Celtic cross put on it. Then Jason took me into their record center, and this is amazing. I found the records going back to 1934 for the headstones for my grandparents, Emil and Almeda Langto Enders. This is incredible. Wow. And their headstones back then cost a whopping $180.
You can see the work of Burdick Enia memorials throughout the region, like the Little Falls War Memorial at Eastern Park in Little Falls, and the Herkimer County Veterans Memorial Park at Herkimer County Community College. Stay tuned for more from Clinton after the break. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Drive the exciting new Dodge Dart for only $149 a month with a new 24-month lease. $29.99 cash or trade due at signing. Drive away in this exciting new technologically advanced compact sedan at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. Spring is a time of rebirth, renewal, and re-prom. Whether your high school prom was 2008 or 1908, you're invited to prom night on Saturday, April 20th. Call 363-0745 for reservations. Tickets are $50 to benefit the Oneida Community Mansion House. Spring is here, and so are the soft, lightweight spring sweaters and ponchos at Paca Gardens. And of course, colorful and comfortable alpaca socks. There's also baby alpaca yarn, some made from local alpacas at Paca Gardens, West Main Street in Little Falls. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit YannickExcavating.com. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories for distinctive gifts. For spring color. For the bride. For the wine. Allie Lynn's Home and Accessories, West Park Row in Clinton. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. If you're in a collision, you need precision. Call your insurance company first and then choose Precision Unlimited, providing expert auto body collision repair since 1987 on Route 5 in Clinton. Give your tongue a twist at the Black Cat Cafe. Great coffee, fabulous baked goods, and delicious breakfast, lunch, and afternoon teas. The cat's got your tongue. The Black Cat Cafe in Sharon Springs. Got a grandchild? Then you gotta get to Cobbler & Company. Their children's area is expanding, including new huggable Sesame Street characters by Gund. And it's your source for Melissa and Doug, from puzzles to puppets, magnets, music, and more. Cobbler & Company in Sharon Springs.
More than 160 years ago, a business started known as the Clinton Signal. It is the oldest continuously operating business in the town of Kirkland, and their motto was a family newspaper, independent in politics, devoted to literature, agriculture, and foreign and domestic intelligence. It still holds true today, but we know it as the Clinton Courier, and we give our thanks to Chuck and Cynthia Kirshner for carrying on the tradition.
My husband and I bought the newspaper in 1992. He had been an executive with Reuters in Chicago, and it was part of the corporate downsizing. We wanted to come back east, and we wanted a college town. We looked at newspapers all over the country, and this was the one we decided to buy. The community was a very strong draw. The newspaper has a long history, and it was a good product and had a lot of potential. There is a great deal of satisfaction in knowing that we're recording the history of the community. And providing information to people that they have no other way to get. No one else comes in and covers the meetings or provides the engagement announcements, gives them a forum to vent when they're upset with something. It's not just our newspaper, it's the community's newspaper.
There's no doubt that I would be in the penalty box if I came here to Clinton and didn't talk about hockey. And so here we are at the very famous Clinton Arena. The arena is and has been the heartbeat of Clinton for over 50 years. It was built back in the early 50s with money from the community. It continues in the tradition of providing ice for those who want to play hockey from age 3, I'm told, up into people's 80s. It's also here for figure skating. This was all started because of the dream of one man, Ed Stanley, known to many of you as Mr. Hockey. And I know that Ed would be very pleased to know that the tradition continues when it opens again on September the 24th.
Well, I got involved because they had a skating rink in Clinton, and from the time I was wee high, I started skating, and then got into the high school program at that point, and then went on to Hamilton College, had one semester there before I got called into service in World War II. We got out in early fall of '45, and there weren't enough men back for a town team and not enough for a college team, so they combined for a year under Ed Stanley. And out of that grew the eventual building of this arena, because we drew some very good crowds during that, thank God, hockey is back period. And out of that grew the Clinton Comets. Originally it was all local players, but now it was added college players, and then a handful of Canadians started coming down and play with us too. We had a big rivalry at Hamilton College versus Colgate, and eventually some of those Colgate players, Greg Bott in particular, eventually joined the Clinton Hockey Club. Greg Bott was the greatest player ever to be in Central New York, in my opinion. Came out of Buffalo originally. Very popular, genial fellow, and I enjoyed playing with him for several years. I had the idea ever since I was about 12 years old, what do you want to do with your life? I think of some guidance class in Clinton Central School. I said, I want to be the hockey coach of Clinton. And out of that came my wish, and also as a social studies teacher, and thoroughly enjoyed my 28 years as coach of the Clinton High School hockey team.
Honey, I got to know you. Ain't got no money, but I got plenty to show you. Honey, honey, meet me on the river road. Chichi Raposo got a head like a beam. He steers a T-bird like you never seen. Picks up the young